Awesome.
Hello, welcome to the Winn DAC team call. This is Bobby Knight. I'll be also a co-host tonight, and we want to welcome everyone to the Winn team call. And we're going to have a great call tonight, and we ask that you just take some copious notes. We're going to have a great time tonight. I'd like to introduce Ellen Winn. I'll give you a little background about Ellen Winn. Ellen grew up on her family 500-acre farm in Dallas, Georgia, and learned the meaning of working at a responsible early age. You can see the entrepreneurship in her started really, really early. She started her first part-time job on the farm at the age of 14 and valued the independence of making her own money her entire life. Also, after 1 year in college, she decided to go to bartending school. Wow, that's great, which began a 25-year in the restaurant industry. The first 7 years was spent in a local owned restaurants and bars. And then, in 1989, she had the opportunity to work with Domino's Pizza Incorporated. She quickly worked her way up to the corporate ladder to store management. She went from that to an area supervisor, to a field trainer, a senior operation director of 74 corporate stores in Georgia. By the time 1997, Ellen was already on her own, and she started her own brand of pizza restaurants and has been an entrepreneur ever since. In 2002, she was introduced to network marketing and was able to walk away from the restaurant industry. And that's the great leader she is. She's a superstar. She had helped build some of the very large organizations, a variety of industries over the years, and is currently leading one of the largest, and I mean one of the fastest growing teams inside DAC. We want to welcome this super powerful of a champion. She's a great leader. She's a superstar. We appreciate everything she's doing. Let's bring her up to the podium. Here she is right now, Miss Ellen Winn. Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate that introduction, and I'm so glad to have you helping out tonight. For those of you that join us every week, you guys know that Harlequin Murray is my usual co-host. Well, Harlequin is traveling today, and will be over the next 2 or 3 weeks. So we'll go from week to week to see what her schedule holds. But I know she had some things going on today that we were afraid that it might prevent her from being a productive co-host. I see she's on here with us tonight. So Bobby and his co-host there, Tony Breland, have both volunteered to step into that slot to help me make sure that we're getting people into the meeting room and doing that introduction. So I really appreciate your commitment and your offering up to help tonight. I know many of you on the team could do that, but these guys do this on a regular basis on our longevity side over there with our previous partnership with them, and they're just really love what's going on with DAC. They've been participating in our team Zooms here on Mondays for quite a while now. So really excited to have Bobby and Tony helping out tonight. So let me get us into what we talk about. For those of you who've not met me, you heard that great intro there with Bobby. I appreciate all your kind words, and you did a great job with that, Bobby. I do these team meetings every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and it gives me an opportunity to get face-to-face with you if you're on camera, to really have some discussion about your DAC business, what your struggles are, what your challenges are. I know a lot of times you may watch the Zooms, the corporate Zooms from David Allen Capital with our founder, David Rutz. And sometimes after you leave those Zooms, you're going, wait a minute, he said this, or you got questions that arise, or maybe you've had a conversation with a potential client or a prospective business partner, and questions arise. And this gives you a face-to-face opportunity to get those questions answered if you're just getting started and you haven't already made that one-on-one connection with me. So I do this as a group setting. So even people that are not on my team, like Bobby and Tony, that want to participate and want to plug in with us, they can. And everybody is welcome. I've got several folks that are not in my organization in DAC that join us each week. I can offer support to anybody and everybody. If you're coming in this group session, it's just difficult for me to offer one-on-one support to folks that are not in my team, because I get those requests almost on a daily basis. But we appreciate you taking time out tonight to be here with us. And I'll go ahead and get us into screen share mode and start us off with team recognition like I usually do on Mondays. And for those of you that have been watching, we got a little bit different format on the beginning of the slides here, because I really want to bring it back to where you are as a new agent, right? You've seen the presentation, or hopefully you saw the presentation and didn't just watch that 3-minute overview and click sign up. But at the very beginning of our business, we talk about how you can start part-time with full-time earning potential by offering business and consumer services. We're going to provide you with a training system, and there's no investment required whatsoever to get started. And that's no financial investment, but it is going to take a commitment and an investment of your time and energy to be successful here. So let's move on to the process of building, and whether you come in and you want to build on your own and earn a significant income from your personal client bonuses and personal client residuals, or whether you want to be a solopreneur. You can also earn from an agency expansion if you want to build a team. Either way, it's okay with us. You do not have to build a team to earn a significant living here, but you can certainly enhance that income by building a team. DAC's philosophy, or expansion philosophy, is to offer a world-class opportunity with a performance-based compensation plan, and then provide an incentive for you to attract other agency entrepreneurs. In that incentive, you can get paid significantly when you help those people that you introduce to the business succeed. All right, so look at this example here. We've got one of the ways that we get paid if you decide you want to build a team, and that's our enroller bonuses, where you can build a portfolio of agents and you can earn a 10 to 50% income match on all of the personal bonuses that you help your personally enrolled agents earn. Okay, you can also earn leadership bonus overrides, and you'll say you make the introduction. All of these agents that you see on the map there, the bigger desk are the ones that you personally enrolled, and the smaller desk are the ones that they're enrolling because they decide that they want to build a team as well inside their own portfolio of agencies. And if you started this business, you can also earn from 10 to 50% override income match on the personal bonuses of the agents in your open line extended network. And then we have what I like is one of my favorite parts of our compensation plan is that residual commission, where you can earn on your 7-level team compensation, and that is compressed. If you know what compressed is, means that all the people in between that aren't qualified to earn all that money compresses up to the 7 levels of people who are qualified. You can earn up to 30% there on your extended agency network. So personal enroller bonuses, leadership overrides, and residuals if you decide to build an agency. How many of these would you like to have in your portfolio? If you imagine the commissions that I'm showing here on the screen, and this is no income claim, it's just a demonstration of the potential income, and this would be the personal income of the different agents that you enroll across the country. You can earn 10 to 50% match on those dollar amounts. So the opportunity here is enormous. Now, I talk about the business model and your ability to start recruiting and building teams as we lead into the recognition on our team recruiting. Okay, I do this every week because, as you can see, our culture is building and expanding our network by referring other agents. And if you are one of those that are doing that and helping grow and develop and expand the company, then you can be rewarded significantly off of that. So for the team growth for the week of 3/27 through yesterday, 4/2, we had 29 agents who had at least one new recruit to the team, and a total of 41 new agents overall. So I'd like to recognize those agents that had 2 or more recruits. Those that just had one, their name doesn't get recognized. You had to have 2 or more to be on the leaderboard. But let's go through who those leaders were. In first place, we had Steve Scott. Steve had 5 new agent recruits for the week. Congratulations, Steve. In second place, we had David Berteo of Berteo Family Industries with 3 new recruits for the week. Congratulations, David. In third place, we had a 6-way tie, each with 2 new agent recruits, Katina Willis, myself, Erica Sampe, Evelyn Tarver, Nick Cransdown, and Pam Warnock each had 2 new agent recruits for the week. So congratulations to everybody who made it on the leaderboard. If you're having conversations with people about the business opportunity and you're inviting them to take a look, it's just a matter of time before your name will also be on the leaderboard, because I believe that once people really see what DAC is all about and you present it to them and invite them to look at it with passion in your voice, people will want to get involved when they realize what the mission is here with David Allen Capital. Now, tomorrow is our first Tuesday of the month. So mark your calendars right now. Go ahead and set an alarm for tomorrow night. The first Tuesday of the month is an opportunity to hear from our founder. David Rutz is going to present 2 live events tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to start out with a business opportunity overview. It's the business presentation like you see on your partner page, right? But it will be a little bit tweaked from what we have on there now. The one that's on our website right now is the recording from last month on our first Tuesday event. So tomorrow's will be updated and tweaked and enhanced. And the good thing is, attending it live, you're getting to see and feel that that new presentation. You're getting to see and hear directly from the owner in real time. And we are giving him fuel and energy to do a great presentation. So we need a huge turnout tomorrow night for that 8 p.m. business opportunity overview. And if you're really wanting to grow your business, it's a great time for you to invite a guest and have them come along and see that business presentation firsthand. So don't come along alone. Bring some folks to come see the business opportunity with you tomorrow night at daczoom.com. You see that on the bottom of the screen. And then tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Over the past few months, they've been doing some sort of product training. We've got videos on all the product training and everything. So tomorrow night, we're going to have a special training on team building and how to develop a productive organization. David has a tremendous history in the network marketing space of building and growing and developing agencies, and he's going to be giving us some of those key tips tomorrow on our first Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time at daczoom.com. So mark your calendar and hope to see you all there. Okay, now today I want to go through a little bit of an offshoot of some of the things that David talked about today on our leadership Zoom, which he does every Monday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. And he made a comment today that just really resonated with me. He said, DAC is like a baby growing in the womb right now. It's just now developing, even though we're a 7-year-old company. I've talked about this, how we're on the foundational phases of DAC, but when David said that we're like a baby growing in the womb right now, it really struck a chord with me, because we're in that everything has come together to make that baby start growing, right? It's all there. Now we're just going through the developmental stages, growing and advancing and developing and ready to, in a few short months, be able to really explode and take on this world as DAC and becoming a household name. So part of his story today also was, are you willing to stay the course? And he went through some comments about where he was with ACN before he started the free network. If you know David's story, he got involved in network marketing and skincare initially, was in a couple of companies, and then he found a company called found the founders of ACN, which is a service-based company. And that started his long career in the service industry, and being able to leave them and go start the free network, which was a telecommunications company. He and his team that started the company, they were able to put on 300,000 customers on long distance service in 2 years. 300,000 customers. That's a massive number of people. Back before the days of the internet and TikTok and all of these different social media platforms that we have today to be able to share things, this was one-on-one, people going and knocking on doors, or people picking up the phone and calling somebody and saying, hey, I want to save you some money on your long distance bill. But 300,000 customers, that was a lot of folks. But I want to play this video, just a little excerpt from our full leadership Zoom today, because it really hit home with me. And he's talking about, are you willing to endure and are you willing to stay the course? So let me make sure I've got my speakers up so you can hear this. I can control my computer. All right.
And I'll end with this. I remember when I was in ACN, I was one of the very first reps in ACN. I was actually in the meeting when two of the founders met two of the other founders. I'm the one who hosted the meeting. It was in my conference room, and they met. And it was in that meeting that they decided they're starting that company. And I'm like, sweet, if you're starting it, I'm moving all my offices. I had 3 offices. I'm gonna move all 3 offices over, all the groups. We're all, for those who want to come, I'm signing up and we're gonna come. And so we decided at the end of that meeting that it was starting. Now I say we, I wasn't one of the owners of ACN, but I was in that first meeting, and I started immediately in the company. So I was one of the first reps. You know, I was probably the first one to say yes, because I was in the meeting where they decided to start the company, right? So from that though, I went out and built, but you know, a year and a half into that business, there was no one making more than $5,000 a month, $4,000 a month, a year and a half in. Maybe I'll say a year in. And I needed more than $4,000 a month to live. So I was doing other things along with my ACN business. I started a coupon book company, and I was making a lot more money in that traditional business. And so I was doing other things in ACN. And so they came to me one day and say, hey, Dave, do you mind moving your position under someone? Because we're trying to help someone break our first corporate RVP position. And they need a 5th leg. He doesn't have one, and you're not real active, and you know the people, and would you mind moving your leg? I was at the level that he needed 5 of to get to the top rank. I said, yeah, I don't care if you want to move me. So they moved me to help him become the top rank. And he still wasn't making a whole lot of money. But about a year later, I ran into him, and I'm still friends with all these guys to this day. But I ran into him about a year later at a restaurant. I said, how you doing? How's the business? And I was making a few $1,000s a month, but it wasn't what I was focused on. I was just helping. And he said, I cracked the 10K residual amount. I'm like, what? All of a sudden it became real. Do you know within a year they had people making 50 grand a month? Within another year, they had people making over 100 grand a month. But unfortunately, I was focused on other things. I didn't endure. I stayed, I made money, I did well, and then I got very serious with them. I was like, wait a minute, if there's people making 100 grand a month residually, this does work. No one had proved it to work. They were looking to me to help prove it work, and others like me. And I didn't prove it worked. I proved I could earn a nice little residual of 30, 40, 50 grand a year, but I wasn't earning big dollars. No one had proved, no one was out there. They were probably saying, come on, Dave, get out there and lead. And I wasn't. So some of you are still sitting here going, well, I don't have anyone in my team making 10 grand a month. So there's going to be a day when people are making $1 million a year in personal commissions without even having a team in DAC. It will happen. And then people will get started and look at themselves and go, I can't believe I'm not making 10 grand a month in personal commissions when there's people making 100 grand a month in personal commissions. It's going to happen. I just know it's going to happen. And when it does, those first movers shake. Everything moves, and then people get left behind. I was left behind in ACN. First rep, left behind. Made money, still friends. When I decided to get back active, man, they flew me everywhere. They wanted me in front of everything. They wanted me doing events. They gave me the carte blanche. They literally paid for my travel to go build my group. I mean, they were trying to help, doing everything because they were friends. They knew my talents. They knew my past experience. They knew my character. They knew what I had done, and they wanted me to win. So they did everything they could. And I could have stayed. I eventually saw I wanted to leave and start my own company for the reasons I've shared before. I got tired of earning on other people's fees. And so I started the free network. But so many people still to this day say, I got left behind. I got left behind. I said it, I got left behind. I did, I walked away. I was doing other things. So other people said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm pushed pedal to the metal, baby, pedal to the metal. I still have a friend, Jeff Granz. He's still at ACN. I don't know what he makes, but he's been there since 1993, He signed up the day after I did, and I know he's made millions with them. And I don't know if he's ever been a top producer. Doesn't matter. He's earning a lot more than he was making in any other career. And if he would have hopped from company to company to company to company, he wouldn't be making near that. I know a lot of people are in the same company they've been with for 30 years, 20 years, and they're all making 100 grand to 200 grand a year residually or more. And some of them haven't worked in 7, 8, 10 years. I was talking to a guy today. He's making well over $200,000 a year in a company that he was active with, super active in the early 2000s. And he's still active with them, but not active. But he still makes $250,000 a year, compounded interest, compounded income, because he endured. Don't give up. Don't let up. Don't start looking at all the weeds. Don't worry about the rocks. Don't worry about the sun burning up some of the people. Don't worry about the funding client doesn't take it. Those are all things that slow you down, get in your head, and stop you. And I know because I've been there. I've been there too. So don't let that be the case with you. Be the person who's the leader to lead the income movement, not just the team development, not just that, but be the one. Hey, guess what? The person who did that at ACN had never done it before, but they were the fastest mover at the time. They believed the most and did the most. And so they asked me if I'd move under him to reward him with that top position. That's what owners do. They want to help. If it's frontline of the company, they want to help the people that are busting their butt, doing everything they can. And so I'm not going to keep on my rant. Tomorrow night, we'll be talking more about team development, but.
All right. That's what I wanted to share. And as I said, that really resonated with me. I'm going to come off of screen share for just a second. I think I have. Yeah, I'm going to come off. No, I'm going to stay on screen share here. I'll lose track where I'm at. That really resonated with me because he's talking about getting left behind. And I've been in those same shoes before. You know, those of you that have been on before, Harlequin introduces me and talks about how I was running a training center when I met her, right? She came in as a guest of one of our agents, and that's how I was introduced to Harlequin. And during that time of running that training center, I remember all too well this young stud, I'll call him, because this young man came into our organization, and he was looking at, that time it was Lightyear Alliance. He was looking at Lightyear and the opportunity there. And he didn't come alone. As I said, tomorrow night, don't come alone. Bring some guests to see the agent opportunity on our live presentation. But he didn't come alone to that meeting. He came in with like 5 of his frontline go-getter team members from another company. They were working with another company and had a huge organization built, and things weren't going the way they wanted them to go in the organization. The company was kind of falling apart. It was mismanaged. So they were looking at an alternate company, and they came to our training center and saw that business presentation. In fact, I was one of the presenters that night. Well, they not only got started, but they started just blowing through the compensation plan and setting records inside the company. And I'm sitting here as one of the almost founders of the company, like Dave's story was, and I'm going, what the heck just happened? You know, because they're coming in and everybody's trying to run and catch up and play catch up. Now, they had a huge advantage because they came in with a ready built team and just plopped it into the middle of what we were doing. But I say that because that could happen to any of us here today or tomorrow. You could be out there marketing online, and somebody that's with another company right now that is just not, their company's not doing what the company should be doing. And that organization could say, hey, I want to talk to you about DAC, or could just randomly run across you anywhere and be the one that signs up in DAC, and all of a sudden you have an explosion in your organization. It can happen, and it's real, but don't be the one sitting back and waiting for that to happen. As David said, you got to take the lead, not just trying to work and develop your team and expecting everybody else to do it. We've got to be the ones that are going forward and leading our own path, right? Getting our own customers and getting qualified and staying qualified and getting that 2,000 volume so that we're at the top of the compensation plan on our residual income and also moving through the ranks so that we can earn more as we're building a team. But I want to go through this story, and I remember this story from years ago when I was learning in network marketing. And it's a book called Acres of Diamonds. And I want to read to you real quick these first 3 paragraphs. The supposed true story is about an African farmer named Ali Hafed, who heard stories of fortunes being made by other farmers. These farmers discovered diamonds on their land and became rich beyond their wildest imagination. Ali became discontented with his own life and desperately desired the same fortune. He eventually sold his farm and left his family to begin a quest for land that would lead him to his riches. He searched through many lands far and wide. Eventually, as an old man, he became depressed and despondent and threw himself into a great tidal wave to never be seen again. Now, the story gets good. The successor of his land, another farmer, one day strolled along a creek that ran through the property. He noticed a blue flash from the creek bed, knelt down and sifted through the water until he pulled a crystal object from the mud of the creek. He wiped it off, took it home, and left it on his mantle above the fireplace, where he quickly forgot about it. Several weeks later, a visitor stopped by the farm and noticed the crystal on the mantle, picked it up, and instantly he became excited. He was holding a diamond in his hand. The farmer protested at first, and the visitor reassured him that it was indeed a diamond. That farm eventually became one of the largest diamond mines in the world. Had Ali simply known how to identify and look for diamonds, he would have had the fortune he so desperately wanted. So I wanted to share the story of Acres of Diamonds because I truly believe that DAC is that acre of diamonds story for us, right? It's here for those of us who believe it and who are willing to endure and are willing to stay the course, to continue searching for our own diamonds, whether it is our own personal clients, the clients that need our funding, that need the ERC so desperately, that are going to sign up as Relevate account or are going to come on with their payment processing. It's just continually looking for those clients that are going to be feeding you and your personal revenue. And then it's looking for those diamonds in the rough that are those prospective agents that finally come on board and see the vision and see the dream here with DAC. So if you are looking around and you think that the grass looks greener on the other side of the fence, as David alluded to, many of us do, we don't plant our seed and don't plant our feet in one place long enough to have the success and looking at in the right places, right? As we've just heard from Acres of Diamonds. If you think the grass is greener on the other side, remember there is dirt under all of that grass. And having lived on a farm and still living on a farm, I know from firsthand experience that to get that grass to grow and become beautiful, you have to spend time and lots of work to make it grow and keep it healthy. It may be beautiful tomorrow, but if you don't know when to mow it at the right time, and you don't know when to fertilize it, and you don't know when to put out weed killer and so on, that beautiful green grass will wilt. And it certainly, if it doesn't have enough water, then it will certainly die. So if the grass looks greener on the other side of the fence and you're thinking that there's another opportunity out there that looks better than DAC does to you, as David alluded to, people that are hopping around and these that have stayed for years and years with some of these big companies are making hundreds of thousands a month. Remember, if you believe that DAC has a phenomenal platform and a phenomenal opportunity for us, then it's time to start tending to your own yard and make sure that you're watering and fertilizing and giving it the fuel and the feed that it needs to grow and be the greenest yard out there and the greenest grass. So I want you to avoid this common mistake as we're looking at DAC. And I learned this a long time ago, and I've made this mistake myself. I've tried to go full-time in this industry too soon. Now, we talk about in the business opportunity presentation that full-time income is possible, but David quickly follows that up with not probable, right? He means that if you're willing to come in and do the work and do the dials and reach out to the tens, hundreds, and potentially thousands of clients over time that are necessary to make millions of dollars personally, then you can make significant full-time income quickly with DAC, but most people aren't willing to do the work. That's why he says it's not probable, but because most people just won't do what it takes to get those personal clients. So avoid this common mistake of trying to go full-time too soon with DAC. Just because you get a couple of fundings and you get a few $1,000s in a commission this week and a few $1,000s in a commission next week, or maybe next month, or maybe you get one big commission and it's $15,000 or $20,000 and you think, man, I got it made. Or you have somebody join your team that's starting to sponsor a bunch of people and you see your team growing. It's not time for you to sit back on your laurels. It's time for you to dig in and go to work and try to stay ahead of the potential growth that you're seeing coming in. So if you want to make DAC your full-time gig, I encourage and recommend that you keep a steady income from another source until your DAC business has doubled your regular job consistently for 6 months. I've said many times that I'm working on a retirement plan for my limousine business. If you don't know, I own a limousine company and I've had a limousine business for over 8 years, very successful business. And I'm still working that business because I haven't met that goal right there that's on the screen. My DAC business has not consistently for 6 months in a row doubled my income from my limousine company. Okay. And that's a big feat for DAC to do. But when I say consistently, because we have mainly had funding as our primary program up until the past couple of months, with our new launch separately from longevity, funding did not provide us a residual income. So to have a consistent income, it required that me and people on the team had to be getting regular fundings, right? But now we're moving into this, having residual income products that are going to start building that consistent and steady income. So get a source of income. If you don't already have one, you don't have a job and you just signed up at DAC and you're going, okay, this is what I'm going to do. It's going to be difficult because when you're talking to people and you're trying to introduce our products, if you really need the money, prospects can feel that. They can hear it. They can hear you trying to convince them into doing something that they may not want to do, right? It becomes more of you're selling to them rather than just telling and sharing them with them about our services. So find a steady income stream. Don't give up on DAC. Do this on a part-time basis. I've been building DAC part-time for almost 5 years now, very part-time. The first 3 years as I was really focused 100% on my limousine business. But after COVID hit, I became more and more focused on DAC. And I'm really doing DAC full-time along with my limousine business full-time. So I'm scattered between the two, which is not really the best scenario. I'd like to be able to focus 100% on DAC. But again, I'm being smart. I've got to double my income from limousine consistently. So as we see more of these residual based programs starting to pay out, then I'm sure that that's going to happen for me very quickly. And that was my last slide on that. So let me get us off of screen share and get over to the opportunity to get questions and answers about anything we've talked about, anything you've seen. Hopefully you guys have seen the leadership Zoom from today. If you haven't, I'm going to be I've got this recording and I'll be sending this Zoom out along with the leadership Zoom in its entirety from today, the clip that you saw earlier from David. But I want to give everybody an opportunity. If you've got a question or a comment, go down to the reactions button there and raise your hand. We'd love to hear from you. I don't have the chat open for Q&A. Thank you, Bobby. On your comments there. I see Bobby's got his hand up. What do you have for us tonight, Bobby?
Thank you once again, and we appreciate part of your team. I want to thank Holligan as well as the rest of your team. My question tonight, with the consumer services going to be the residual income part of it, how close are we to the identity protect? Ellen, any news on that? Or as well as the Zoom that we're going to be offering, or any other consumer services that's going to be tied to the residual income part like you talked about?
Yeah, great question, Bobby. Thanks for asking. Okay, so DAC Protect is just around the corner from being released. We've already received email. I know I already subscribed to DAC Protect, and I received an email the other day asking me to update my credit card. As David said, we would get that email. So before it goes live on our website, they needed to get all of the existing customers an opportunity to go in and update their credit card so that it just continues on with the account that we have had all of this time, and we don't have to go in and set it up. They're going to give that a few days. I don't know what that time limit is, but they're going to give that a few days for existing DAC Protect customers to update their credit card. The reason being, the credit cards that we were being charged on are in the old system with Longevity. They were the ones running the credit card for DAC Protect when we were partnered with them. So now that we're on our own, we have our own payment credit card processor that will run those charges for us, and we have to get those into our system because we didn't have the credit card file there. But as soon as that's done, then those links will be live on our site to be able to order. I haven't heard any more updates on Zoom. I know that it is right around the corner, though. David's excited about that, and I'm looking forward to being able to move my existing business lines over. I'm just going to port that number over to Zoom so that I can be my own customer. And of course, we've got the Relevate product too, coming as a consumer product, not just the B2B market that we have right now, but also a Relevate consumer product that's going to have that viral effect where they'll have a referral incentive built in for you to tell a friend about it. And that friend comes on, signs up for the free account, and then they'll have a financial incentive to be able to tell their friends about it, and so on and so on. So I think that's going to be a huge growth opportunity for us there. Did that answer your question, Bobby?
Yes, it did. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for the question. Hey, Shelton, I see you've got your hand up tonight. I'm going to ask you to unmute. How are you doing?
I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound great.
All right. I had to redo my computer. I got hacked several weeks back and had to totally restore my computer. So I wasn't sure. For some using the mic again. I wanted to, not a question, but make a statement that I found in a book that even J&R Capital Funding, I suck with names, but the 10X rule, don't make the mistake I made, because I made the mistake. And I just got to that part in the book just now. It's at the ending. Don't be patting yourself on the back for attempting, like me, I was getting out there, I was talking to people, I was patting myself on the back. Ooh, I'm out there, I'm doing it, but I wasn't succeeding. I wasn't getting the customers. And here I am, I'm cheering myself on. You heard me say, I mean, I've been talking to people, and don't let people get in your way when you're out there. What's it called? The Chamber of Commerce. I told you about it at one, I got several of them around me, and one of them, the guy was like, well, you know, we have a bank person or a accountant in our Chamber of Commerce, and you know, I don't know if there was something she'd be offering it, and I let that shoot me down. Don't do that. Don't let people get in your way, and don't be over patting yourself on the back when you're not actually succeeding. And that's what I was doing. And look, I haven't made $1 yet. But I was patting myself on the back because I was getting out there. Stay focused and make it happen. Stay connected. When you're reaching out to the people, if they don't come out on your service, don't take you up on the services we're offering right away, check back with them, get back with them, and continue to knock on that door. That's what I'm about to start doing. After going through this book, I've got an Audible. I got one more book I'm going to go through, but I've already got my schedule lined up now. a schedule that I'm going to be doing and sticking to. And as in the book says, being massively active, not just active, massively active. So I just wanted to say that because it was something that I found that I was doing, and to help other people, I don't want to see them get in that same rut. So.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you, Shelton. I appreciate you being so vulnerable with your comment and sharing that. And, I know you've been active. And the thing is, you're right. Don't get too excited and don't think you've won because you're getting out there doing the activity, right? Don't focus on the result, focus on the activity. But if you continue doing the activity and stay steady with it, as long as you're doing the right activity, you're going to start seeing things start popping through there. So thank you again. I appreciate you sharing it and being vulnerable with that comment. I'm sure it was beneficial to someone else on here. All right. Anybody else got a question or a comment? We can wrap up early tonight, or we can stay and talk as long as you like. I see J Plummer sitting there with a big grin on his face. He's probably laughing. He's going, yep, been there, done that on that 10X rule. And I'm in the middle of that book myself. Not saying that you're feeling the same there, Jay, not at all. But I know you've got the 10X. I can see it in the background there, the 10X rule. Yep. You got it. Grant Cardone. He is massive. You got something you want to add to that, Jay? You're welcome to unmute yourself.
Sure. Yeah, I've been really focused, and what I'm doing now is might be a little different than what a lot of people are doing, but I'm building relationships. I'm not out there selling. I'm out there getting to know people, getting to know the right people, the business leaders, the business owners. I'm just meeting them, introducing myself, telling them about myself, or not really myself. That's the wrong way to put it, but just talking to them, having a casual conversation, coffee, whatever. And then having done that, I've gotten tons of recommendations. So I'm building all of those up. And I know that at one point, because of the relationships I've been building, it's going to explode. So that's what I'm getting from the book, and the coaching that Grant Cardone gives is phenomenal. He's a little more aggressive than I am, but I'm definitely trying to do a lot of the things that require success. And the number one thing for success to happen is no action, but also trust. And in building those relationships with business owners is probably the most important thing you can do, because that business owner knows more business owners, and they're going to spread the word like wildfire. When that happens, it will happen gradually. And as it does, it comes together at a certain point, and it's definitely will 10X your life. So that's my 2 cents. I don't know.
That was great. Yeah, thank you, Jay. I appreciate you sharing that. And, you're out there building that know, like, and trust factor,
Yes.
which is so key. Not just the trust, but they got to know you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And getting to know you is when they're going, now, what is it that you do, Jay? And then they ask you one time on that first introduction, you tell somebody what you do, and it doesn't resonate. It takes multiple exposures for someone to really get what it is that you do, right? Exactly. So you're building that, getting to know the like, that you're around, and they're seeing that you're genuine and that you're really there with the right heart, wanting
with
to
that,
help
with the ethic, the moral values behind it. That I'm not out there to hurt them. I'm out there to help them. Yep. And that's what I'm here for.
And that's where it goes from the know, they like you, they like your attitude. Now they trust you. And when they trust you, they will send you those referrals. That's right. You're getting the endless referrals there. Bob Berg, I believe, wrote that book, Endless Referrals. So great job. Thank you for sharing that. I know that's beneficial for everyone as well. All right. Anybody else before we wrap up tonight? We've got a lot of you on camera, which is nice to see. I saw Harlequin on here earlier, but as I said, she's traveling and I'm not sure if she's where she can say hi or not. Or
Hey,
unmute. Oh, hey, Eric, how are you?
hi, how are you?
I'm good.
I actually didn't. I'm sorry. I was trying to find, I don't know, they changed some of the settings on here. I was trying to find where I could raise my hand, but I couldn't find it.
Oh, no
So
worries. You're
I
good.
just jumped in. I just actually got off the phone. That's the reason why I'm late to the meeting, because I have a client that just signed up for an ERC. He's actually a friend of mine,
Yay.
and he was trying to go onto the ERC Pros website. And he was saying that, they asked him to select his provider, his payroll provider. And he's with ADP, but he doesn't know which ADP he's with. And of course, I don't, if he doesn't know, I don't know. So I told him to just try to wait and find out if when ERC Pros gives him a call, like they could walk him through it, or could I actually tell him like something else or something that we would know?
Well, if you'll look at his payroll portal, I've got an ERC client that's with ADP as well. And he was able to go log into his ADP portal and it told him specifically which version or which entity inside their company that he was with, and he was able to get connected that way. But he can go on through and fill out that form inside the ERC Pros. Has he already gotten an email from them to set up his Canopy account and upload documents? Did he get that far?
I'm not sure. He just said that he was on the ERC Pros website, and when he was trying to actually select the ADP provider, he said he went into his portal or his app, and they didn't have the selection that he had on there. So that's what was confusing.
Yeah,
That was on
he
ERC
can
Pros.
do it later. I walked through that and I know exactly what you're talking about because I walked through it with my client as well. And so that I was seeing exactly what he was, and I'm going, okay, actually, I'm wrong. He didn't find it through the portal. He had to call his ADP rep to find out which was the correct selection. But one, you want to make sure that your client has gone from that first portal on Bank Breezy, not only over to where they're on the ERC Pros site, but to actually complete the entire questionnaire and click submit so that he makes it to the confirmation page that says to go check your email to get your Canopy account set up. He can move on through that without doing the ADP thing. Because that's an optional part of that form. Selecting that he has a payroll provider, he can just bypass that and put in who he wants as a contact. And then when he's in there, he's got the confirmation and they send them the Canopy link, then he can let his provider or his customer service specialist know at ERC Pros that he needs to connect with ADP, and he can take that next step. I say that, Eric, because you want to get him on through there and not let that be a holdup. Because once he's through and he has that confirmation page from ERC Pros and that email, now ERC Pros is going to be actively reaching out to your client. But if he doesn't fill out that page and something happens and he gets sidetracked, then he's not actually connected with ERC Pros yet until he completes that form and gets that confirmation page. Does that make sense?
Okay, so he has to get his Canopy login and the confirmation page before ERC will actually reach out to him.
Well, it's at the same time. When he finishes the page that's going to and click submit, he'll get a confirmation page that says go check your email to set up your online portal. But once he gets that confirmation page, now he's already in the ERC Pro system. Whether he sets up the portal or not, he's gotten that confirmation page. They're emailing him and they're soon going to be calling him to move him on through getting his Canopy account set up and uploading his documents. And at that point, he can say, hey, I've got ADP. I'm not sure which one it is. I would encourage him to go ahead and call maybe tomorrow morning, say, hey, go ahead and call ADP and ask them which one it is if he saw it on there, but get him going through to where he's got that confirmation page, because the rest of that can be completed after the fact.
Okay, so he doesn't have to have the ADP filled out to get submitted, then he can bypass. Okay.
Correct. He can just bypass it as if he's not using a payroll company at all. He can just bypass it, move on through. Again, get him on over to the confirmation page. That way ERC Pros will work with him and answer any questions that he has about the ADP connection.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. Well,
Thank you.
congratulations on getting somebody through there. Do you know how many employees he has?
I think he said he had 5 or something like that.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah. He
um,
potentially can get 100 grand back. That will rock his world as a business owner.
yeah, he's a good friend of mine. Like I've known him since high school, and he's been, basically, kind of like pussyfooting around because I actually told him about it back probably in November,
Mhm.
and he's been going back and forth. And he went through the DAC side, but I would always say, like, did you finish your application yet? He's like, oh man, I'll get to it. Oh man, I get to it. And then I was busy all day today. And then I just saw the email come through. I'm like, so he applied again. Because I actually just reached back out to him probably about a month ago, not even a month, maybe 2 weeks ago. Because it just dawned on me, because I remember seeing that he submitted, but he never followed up. I was like, did you ever follow up? He's like, oh no, I got busy. I'm like, man, you're missing out on money. Like, or potential money you could be missing out on. I mean, the worst case scenarios, they say no. But I'm like, if you don't even finish and apply, you're not going to get anything. So I'm like, you would be mad at yourself if you could get like a couple, $1,000 and you don't get anything at all. He's like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, yeah, I know I'm right. I would be mad at myself too if I had the opportunity to get some extra money and I just missed out on it because I didn't fill out an application. So hopefully I can get them through this time.
Yeah, well, great. And I'm glad that you mentioned ERCs, Eric, because I want to point out a couple of things. I showed this last week and the week before. This is a slide that David had posted comparing DAC to other companies that are marketing the ERC platform. And one thing that I want to point out is when you get a signed deal for the ERC, that makes you engaged for 60 days.
Oh, wow.
I noticed that it's not listed on our current compensation plan, but David's going to update that. We had that conversation today when he was updating those documents. It just didn't get added to the engaged section. But if your client goes through and he qualifies and then they send it back to him and he said, yep, this looks good, and he signs off on it to get sent to the IRS, then that engages you for 60 days at that point. So.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then when you have an ERC that's funded, if it's 600 bonus revenue or more, then it'll count as amped up as well. But real quick, since we're talking about this, and Eric, did you see this side-by-side comparison on how we pay versus everybody else?
No, I haven't. This is the first time I'm seeing it, actually.
Okay, awesome. So what I like to say is, if you're marketing ERCs through another company, they're going to charge your customer more and they're going to pay you less as the agent. And here's why. This example is on a 200-person company, assuming that the average refund is $10,000, which I don't know if that's a real average or not. Could be more, could be less. And depending on the company and who's doing it, that average number is probably variable. I know we'd asked that question when we were doing the training, but for an apples to apples comparison, 200 people, 10,000 average refund, the business is going to get back approximately $2 million with that equation, right? So other companies that are charging more, charging up to a 25% fee, means that business owner, out of that $2 million, they're going to have to pay $500,000 to a lot of other companies out there. But if you look over to the right, DAC only charges a 20% contingency fee. So the business owner would pay $400,000 out of $2 million. They get to keep an extra $100,000 in their pocket. On the agent commission, the last line here, the agent gets 10% of the contingency fee in most cases, and that's what people don't understand. 10% of 500,000 is a $50,000 commission to the agent with other companies. But with DAC, the agent gets 20% of the contingency fee, which is an $80,000 commission. So again, the client keeps less of their money, they paid more, yet you make less as an agent. So who had you rather market for? DAC or one of these other companies out there? Now, I know that's not all the other companies. Some of them are charging less and they're paying less to their agents as well. And the business owner gets to keep more, but for the number of clients that we have apply, and those that don't qualify, yet those that do, 20% is the number that our ERC team has to get to be able to make it profitable for them. So thanks for bringing that up. All right, I'll go
Thank
back.
you.
Screen share. You bet. Thanks for your question. All right, anybody else before we wrap up tonight? Give you an opportunity to raise a hand, or if you can't find the raise hand under reactions, just do like Eric did and unmute yourself and we'll hear from you. One last chance. It is, we've been going just shy of an hour, which is great. We've got, don't forget, tomorrow night, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern at daczoom.com, our first Tuesday meetings. It's going to be good stuff, especially on the team building and the opportunity to grow and compound your interest. I'm going to get this sent out along with today's Zoom because it's great stuff. You want to make sure you watch that as we get ready for tomorrow night, and then be ready to take some notes. Don't forget to invite some guests to join us. All right, guys. Well, thank you again. Appreciate your time tonight. If you're watching on the replay, appreciate your commitment to yourself and your business for taking time out to watch this video. We'll see you tomorrow night on the live Zooms. Have a great night, everybody. Take care. Thanks for joining.